Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
It is your right.
In my family, we strive to be responsible in order to ensure the well-being of our family. In the same way, I encourage my family to vote because it's their responsibility to do so as citizens.
That's right. It is our responsibility to elect our leaders without influence from our families or anyone else.
You have the right to vote. Use it.
We will vote. Will you?
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill. Have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Air Jungle.
Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Prime TV's main news. We look at the headlines. A woman beaten by husband on suspicion of having extramarital affairs. Critical water shortage hits Madaliso area in Lusaka West. 3 people escaped death in a terrible road accident. And in foreign news, Nigerian Archbishop accuses the West over Boko Haram crisis. These and other interesting stories when we return. With the details, my name is Daniel Tonga. Gender-based violence has continued to show its ugly face despite several campaigns by many organizations to discourage the vice. On Monday morning, a woman of Chawama compound was severely beaten by her husband on suspicion that she was having extramarital affairs with other men. We have more in the following report by Kalan Muchima.
Beatings are visible for everyone to see. Leah, a woman of Lusaka's Chawama compound, has become a statistic to the many women that have fallen prey to gender-based violence. This lady was on Monday morning beaten by her husband, Zackson Mwale, on suspicion that she was having extramarital affairs with other men. But she has denied these accusations, saying her husband, who is a bus conductor, is not supportive to her and their child, but only interested in other women, as she is left to look for peace works to support their child. Mr. Mwale, who is currently detained at Chawama police post, said he did not know what prompted him to beat his wife in that manner, as he said he loves her very much. After the beating, the police, with the help of PF cadres, managed to apprehend Mr. Mwale to face the consequences of his actions. If love means beating your partner in such a manner, then love has lost its meaning. Kalan Mchima, reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
Senior Chief Mwataka Zembe of Lopula Province has urged the people of Lopula to vote for PF President Edgar Lungu in the January 20th, 2015 presidential election. The Mwata says this is because Mr. Lungu was President Michael Sata's successor, adding that the wrangles witnessed in the PF were only the demonstration of internal party democracy. The traditional leader said this when PF President Edgar Lungu paid a courtesy call on him in Mwansa-Wombwe district. And PF President Edgar Lungu says traditional leaders play an important role in the governance of the country. Earlier, Mr. Lungu addressed a rally in Mwansa-Wombwe where he pledged to work hard and continue uplifting the welfare of Zambians through infrastructure development. Residents of Madaliso area in Lusaka West have been hit with a critical shortage of water. The residents say they have not had water for the past 10 years. They indicate that they have also lived without proper sanitation and road network in the area. In an interview with Prime TV News, the residents have expressed disappointment that even after 50 years, nothing has been done to change the situation. They indicate that poor road network and water challenges have made it difficult for them to live a proper life. More in the following report.
Madaliso section of Lusaka West looks like any other normal living area in Lusaka province, but this area has a critical shortage of water. The area has one borehole which caters for over 600 residents. The residents cover long distances to go and fetch water. In an interview with Prime TV, the residents have called on government to provide 2 more boreholes in the area.
If I can remember 10 years back, we apply, nothing is done. This is 2015. At least let something be done about it. We'll be really very happy if the government is going to look into this. And if we are talking about, 15 kilometers from Lusaka, this is headquarters. What about the people in Shangombe? Because if anything, we are near the capital. We are supposed to be at least developed by now. Even electricity, we should have electricity by now in the homes.
If they can assist us at least in anyways, but pangira coffee road, then but pela konama boho so that train kwa menshi are clear. Because right now, but tunafia menshi mixed like in a finama social. But it's very dangerous. You can't like it. Even cholera so so it's very easy to have that disease.
The problem of water has also been compounded by lack of proper road network in the area. The residents say the lack of proper road network has affected their livelihood and their businesses.
Omuntu nga alwala utakuli kwa kupita moto kangana alwala sana nishi kumutemba fye kwati nife afine kumushu kuimya mwamwimya pa mabelo nomba mwamutwala ku road eko bale musendera nomba na moto ko kumutwala ku hospital nangu nafwa kuimya fye pa mabefi neno mwamutwala ku hospital kumochali so umusebona wena watu shupa
tina pampu imozi ya manzi bantu bali 600 saba kama manzi aso saba kapulumukira nyame tinanda ku movie wa movie batu tandize batu pase ko njira mami tsapulumukira mafamily avuti amaona bana bonsaba sikulu kulibe bavutika ini kutya niko waya no lilipo kuno bantu bavutika so tapepa nchakuti please olo manzi wo mwe batanze ko manzi chabe tupeze ko manzi akumwa bwino bantu.
This here looks like good and clean water, when in the actual sense, this water is carrying a lot of diseases, and this water is consumed by more than 600 residents of Madaliso section in Lusaka West, and the residents have since called on government to intervene in the matter, that they can also have a good health to life by having proper sanitation and proper water in the area. Gwen Wheeler reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
A political analyst, Dante Saunders, has asked the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, to name and discipline the party promoting violence than beating about the bush. Mr. Saunders says it is not fair for the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, to threaten closure of campaigns for all political parties when the party that is guilty of violence is well known. He says the ECZ must be strong enough to tell every political party that is violent that generalizing the cause of the political violence. Mr. Saunders says the Electoral Commission of Zambia must play a fair role in the election to ensure a transparent, free and fair election. 3 people escaped death after a vehicle hit into another vehicle that was wrongly parked in Chilenje along Luwembu Road. According to eyewitnesses, the accident happened after an overspeeding vehicle rammed into a Corolla registration number ALT 3531 that was wrongly parked. The residents have called on local authorities to put up humps in most roads to avoid similar incidences.
reduce speed. Overspeed. Most of them drunk because inside kunapaka mabazi. So speed make sure wakapeza ambu hapa. Wazamo usitako reduce speed.
We now take our first break. Join us for other interesting stories when we are back.
Opening of new districts and the opening of roads and canals in Western Province is intended to make production cheaper. Amalizing after Gumishi, it means in the Nakagaya, Wangula Gumishi, no Shiabash, Yangolevo, Bunga,
Yeah, madam, nisiriza manze.
No problem. It's very busy here.
Yeah, your sister, pamangala busy. Since you are nakuziwa kapena nzaka vota kwa presidential elections.
Huh? Don't tell me. You can't afford to miss out on your right to vote. Elections are a time for you to choose a leader of your choice.
Your boy, Susie, but voting is important.
You need to vote if you want to put a leader of your choice in power.
Oh, okay. But vamene makamba vapanga sense. Anyway, since voting doesn't maningi time, your car is ready.
Zikomo, the car looks great. I'll bring it here again for another wash.
No problem. As long as it is not on 20th January, because I'll be voting.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Welcome back now. Other stories. United Party for National Development UPND Matero Constituency Vice Campaign Manager Gilbert Liswaniso has urged all well-meaning Zambians to wake up early on the 20th of January and vote for a visionary leader. Mr. Liswaniso says all UPND supporters must turn up in large numbers to vote for a leader that has potential to change the country. He says the UPND is a disciplined party and it must not react to any form of violence perpetrated by some parties. Mr. Liswaniso says this is a time when all members of the party must embrace everyone to ensure that the UPND wins the 20th January presidential elections. He has also accused the PF of running out of ideas by engaging in suspected buying of voters' cards.
8 days remaining for the country to go for a poll and elect a new president. Violence, intimidation and threats has characterized day by day by political parties to ensure that their leader are ushered in office come January 20, 2015. But the United Party for National Development in Macleay constituency, through their Vice Campaign Manager Gilbert Liswaniso, has charged that there is no need for violence in the country, but let the voters' card speak on the 20th January 2015. Mr. Liswaniso has this to say.
Panichani. Nikupe mpani, hii wiki meta sala nayo. Osa chitande ona muntu aliyenza. strategy ya PF kuta intimidate imwe vantu bakutani intimidate already politician na chitenga na mairo muzakayo pa kwenda kuboda jameni yo pa komanje mwasevenza konse huku mwasevenza last minute because the PF bazambo menya abantu na day ya voting ya manager koma nikupempani kuti osayopa imwe bene bachipani osayopa.
Mr. Liswaniso has further urged for peace-free and fair elections ahead of the presidential elections. Prince Kaza reporting, Prime TV News, Lusaka.
Ikeleng MMD Member of Parliament Elijah Muchima has denied reports linking him to the recent incident where residents of the area booed acting President Guy Scott, who was in the area. Mr. Muchima, who has been accused of hiring people to wave UPND symbols and boo Dr. Scott, explains that not at any time had he hired people to do such acts. He explains that at the time of the incident, he was on the Copper Belt where he is still conducting campaigns for the UPND with other officials campaigning for the party. The Ikeleng lawmaker states that the people's actions towards the presidential motorcade are just a reflection of how bitter people are in the area for not being cared for by the ruling Patriotic Front government. Mr. Muchima said this in a telephone interview with Prime TV from the Copper Belt.
I'm surprised that I'm even being referred to for whatever happened to the rejection of the Vice President. That's why they are missing their facts. But the fact is, people are not happy with PF at all. It has done nothing. It's a non-performing party which should not even be voted for. Even here on the Copper Belt, I was in Chilawambo, in Chimola, in Changa in particular. People are not happy because there is no development at all. So if this is what happened, it's unfortunate, but people are not happy, not under my instigation.
Meanwhile, Mr. Muchima has accused the PF of desperation ahead of the 20th January presidential election. He wondered how government can decide to commission construction of a district hospital in Ikeleng at such a period. Mr. Muchima stated that government's gesture is not genuine but politically motivated. We now take our second break. Join us when we are back with other interesting stories.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Wow, I can't wait for the midterm break. I'll sleep the whole day.
I'll be doing the opposite, staying up all night and playing video games.
Wow, you two have big plans, hey? I'll be going back home where I registered so I can take part in the presidential election on the 20th of January.
Wow, Lisa, why are you such a boring dope? Why'd you bother about such things? Leave it to the old people. We're young.
And that's exactly why we should vote. We are the future of Zambia, and the elections will give us a chance to vote for a president of our own choice. And this president will also address issues that we face as youth.
Oh, okay, but she has a point. Imagine if more young people voted, okay? Our leaders would then realize how important we are to the nation and then solve more of our issues.
Well, you see, as much as I hate to admit it, I think you both, what I've said, makes a lot of sense. I'm left with no choice but to consider it.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Welcome back now in foreign news. The Catholic Archbishop of Jos in central Nigeria has accused the West of ignoring the threat of a militant Islamic group Boko Haram. Ignatius Kaigama said the world has to show more determination to halt the group's advance in Nigeria. He said the international community had to show the same spirit and resolve it had done after the attacks in France. His warning came after 23 people were killed by 3 female suicide bombers, one reported to be 10 years old. The weekend attacks come after reports that hundreds of people were killed last week during the capture of Boko Haram of the town of Baga in Borno State. And finally, in our news, protesters have burnt tires and thrown rocks and glass bottles at riot police during another anti-government demonstration in Haiti's capital amid a political stalemate over long-delayed elections. The demonstration of mostly young men reached a peak of about 1,500 in downtown Port-au-Prince as protesters called for the departure of the president. Police fired tear gas and sprayed water from an armored vehicle, scattering the crowd at a plaza close to where the National Palace stood before it collapsed in Haiti's 2010 earthquake. There has been no let-up in protests since last month's resignation of Prime Minister Laurent Lamothe and other concessions made aimed at resolving the stalemate holding up legislative elections. For these and other stories, we did monitor Al Jazeera.
Almost 4 million people have marched in towns and cities across France. World leaders, led by the French president, joined the rally in Paris. The massive show of unity followed 3 days of deadly attacks in the French capital. Turkey's foreign minister says the suspected female accomplice of one of the gunmen killed last week crossed into Syria from Turkey on Thursday. Hayat Boumediene is believed to have arrived in Turkey from Madrid ahead of the attacks. Turkey says she entered Syria the day before Ahmadi Koulibaly took hostages at a kosher supermarket in Paris. 4 were killed in that incident. Lebanese security forces have stormed a notorious prison holding suspected fighters in Beirut. They moved in to transfer the detainees after an investigation showed that some had exchanged calls with a man who conducted a suicide bombing on Saturday. 9 people were killed during that attack. Indonesian search and rescue teams say they've found one of the 2 flight recorders from the crashed AirAsia plane. While the flight data recorder is being retrieved, teams are still searching for the cockpit voice recorder. The tail of the plane's already been brought ashore after being lifted from the seabed. 162 passengers and crew died when the plane crashed into the Java Sea on December the 28th. Two young female suicide bombers have blown themselves up in a market in northern Nigeria, and it comes just a day after a 10-year-old girl killed 19 people at a market in Maiduguri. Protesters have been marching through the Haitian capital calling for President Michel Martelly's resignation. The parliament's term ends on Monday night, and Martelly and opposition legislators haven't yet reached a deal on fresh elections. Anti-government protests have been going on for months now. It's 5 years since a massive earthquake that killed more than 200,000 people, but the political turmoil has overshadowed the anniversary. The school that was the site of one of the worst attacks in Pakistan's history has reopened. 150 people, most of them children, were killed when Taliban gunmen stormed the army public school in Peshawar in December.
And as we end the news, we take a recap of the headlines. A woman beaten by husband on suspicion of having extramarital affairs. Critical water shortage hits Madaliso area in Lusaka West. 3 people escaped death in a terrible road accident. And in foreign news, a Nigerian archbishop accuses the West of a Boko Haram crisis. And that's just about what we had on the news. Thank you so much for your time. And on behalf of the news department and the production, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Daniel Tonga. Good evening.
Hi. I was just checking up some information on the Electoral Commission of Zambia website. Did you know that the Electoral Commission of Zambia has set January 20th, 2015 as the date for the presidential election? Remember that in order to vote, you'll need your green national registration card and your voter's card. Voting is the constitutional right of every Zambian citizen. Exercise your right by voting for the presidential candidate of your choice on January 20th, 2015.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.